Welcome to Crafty Little Beach. This is Julie. Today I have a Dollar Tree DIY for you. We're going to take 3 wood crates from the Dollar Tree. It can really be any of the rectangular ones like that, and then 2 of the Dollar Tree easels. Now, this is how they used to come, but this is how they are coming now. So, like at my store, I found these like on the bottom shelf. They're all taken apart like this, and they have a chain with them now as well. So, know that they might look like that at your Dollar Tree. Now, I was challenging myself. I have made a really cute porch swing with these easels from the Dollar Tree, and I was thinking there must be something else I could make for these for spring, and let me show you what I came up with. The first thing I'm going to do is just remove the stand from it. I don't really need that on there, but I do want the structure to stay in place, so I just took that piece of wood off. We will use that later on in the DIY, and I screwed this back on. Now, without that in there, though, I felt like my screw was a little too long sticking out of the back. You could leave it on there like that, but I thought it was a little distracting. So what I'm going to do is just remove the screw and the wing nut, and I'm just going to use hot glue to glue those at the top. It doesn't have to be super strong. I do the same thing there with the other ones, just removing the extra piece of wood and removing the screw. I'm just going to use hot glue to attach them together. And what I want to do is take 2 of these and make a ladder plant stand that I can fill with some faux florals for spring. And I love how this turned out. It's the perfect shape for this. That there's already the ledge there on the bottom. And so that will be able to hold a box of flowers down there. And then I also want a box of flowers at the top. So I can use that extra piece of wood for the top. And basically, I want ledges to be able to sit the flower boxes on. So I just used hot glue to glue both of those together. I do want a stain, but I want a very light stain for spring. I don't want it to be too dark. So I mixed mostly water with some antique wax by Waverly, and we're going to stain everything. The wooden easels, the little wooden crate boxes, everything that we're going to be using here, and just letting that soak in a little bit, but wiping off the excess. It looks darker now than it actually ends up. It is a very light stain, but I did want to stain it so that I could get a lot more of that wood grain to come through. Now, this little part of the easel is already attached with like little nails in there, so it's pretty sturdy. I'm guessing on the new ones, I haven't taken them out of the package yet. You'd probably have to be able to screw those on. And the ladder stand that I'm making for this, like the ladder planter stand, you could use shelves in it, and that would be really cute as well. You could add shelves with little flower pots, but what I'm going to do is just add the wood boxes directly and make them into flower boxes, just to save a step. But know that you definitely could make this project with shelves if you wanted to. So I just go over the front and the back of all of these, and I love crafting with these little easels. I was trying to decide if I should make like a swing set or something like that, but I've already done a porch swing, so I wanted to mix it up a little bit and do something a little bit more different. Now, these were the extra pieces of wood. I went ahead and stained them as well because I can use them for the shelves for the top. Now, the little wood crates, I just made sure to get 3 all the same. They have many varieties of these. Some of them have open slats on the bottom. Some of them have open slats on the sides. It doesn't really matter as long as you get 3 that are all the same size. And this one doesn't really have the openings, but it does have the slats. Still super cute. I went ahead and stained everything just because it was a little bit like a wash. So it's just easier just to go ahead and stain everything inside and outside of our little wood flower boxes. And again, just kind of drying that off with a dry paper towel. I don't want to take too much of the stain off, but as you can see, a very light stain. And one thing about staining or painting the different kinds of wood like this from the Dollar Tree, it's going to give you a more consistent finish in the end than if you would have left them all just the raw wood colors that they were, because they can vary slightly. So I'm going to do that with all 3 of my boxes. What I was thinking is I can do 1 box for the top shelf, and then I can do 2 together, making a longer flower box for the bottom because I'm going to have more room down there. So I just finished up staining this last one. It's really easy to do. Just kind of go all over. Try not to forget any surfaces. And as you can see, that stain is just very liquid. You can almost pour it right off. Now, this is what I was thinking. One of these will be the front, and one will be the back. I'll have 2 rows like this that I can suspend this through, but I'm gonna need to make shelf for the top bin because the one on the bottom is already there. You're gonna wanna cut your wood to size. You're gonna want it about the same width as one of the little bins. And I just kind of marked off where I want to be able to attach this just so I can remember. And instead of using a saw, I'm just gonna use my miter scissors to cut these down. They're not too big. I think I should be able to cut them with this. And then I'm gonna use that as a reference here to cut off the second one. Now I'm just going to attach these to the wood easel with hot glue. If you wanted to go in with some tinier nails on the other side, it would make it even stronger like the bottom shelf. But I think with faux flowers and foam in this, it's not gonna need to be super durable. So what I did was just mark that on the other little A-frame so I would know exactly where to attach these. And I just put hot glue here on each side and add my little wood shelves. So I was thinking that the flower boxes would rest on these. And let me show you how I ended up putting it all together. So I have that glued to both of them. And I want it to be like that. So I want to kind of sandwich the little bends in. Now you're going to want to add a little bit of flexibility. What I did was I hot glued mine to the A-frame here and to the shelf. You really only need to do it on the shelf because I noticed you did need a little bit of flexibility when I went to put this all together. So I don't know how much it really stuck to the back. The shelf is the most important part. Now for the bottom one, I want it to be a long flower tray. So I took both of them and glued them together end to end like this with some hot glue before I added it to the shelf. This little easel shelf does have a little bit of a ridge on it, so make sure you're making good contact when you glue this on. And again, I glued this one to the frame, but you don't really need to. As long as you get it on that shelf, it should be good to go. And now we can attach the front of our little plant ladder. Super cute. I was making sure it was going to fit. That's when I realized I probably shouldn't have glued it to the back because I did need a little bit of flexibility, but we're going to make it work. I add hot glue here to both of these little ridges here that are going to be used to hold the flower boxes and attach this, gluing that to the little wood crates like that. It's really cute. I love this design. It looks just like a bigger ladder plant stand that you would buy, and it's kind of a miniature version that you can use for decor. You can really use this indoor or outdoor as well. That is what it looks like so far. Now let's fill it up with some floral foam from the Dollar Tree and some of their beautiful spring florals. They have some really pretty stuff this year. This foam was the perfect size, but it didn't fill it up lengthwise. So I just added a whole piece to each box, and then I just cut a half a piece to fill up the box all the way. Now to cover up the foam and add a little bit more decor, I'm just going to take some reindeer moss and spread it all around. Some of the reindeer moss I've been buying lately is a really kind of a bright green, but I think it's really pretty for spring. So I just used one package, scattering that throughout the 3 boxes to fill those up before we add our florals. And now check out this hanging eucalyptus that I just got at the Dollar Tree. I've never seen this before. I love the fact that it's hanging. I thought this would look beautiful on the top floral box because it could dangle down on the front there in front of the stand and be really fun. So this had 4 pieces on it. I thought I was going to end up using more, but 4 was plenty because I really only wanted it to dangle down here in the front. So I just put those along the front, scattering those out, and I love them. Another new spring flora I found are these hydrangeas. Aren't they so pretty? They're like a lavender color. I think they're so pretty. So what I did was just cut these down with my wire cutter so they're not too tall. I did make sure to leave the green leaves on there because I think they're pretty. And I think one bunch of those is enough to fill up one of the flower boxes. I do want to do this all basically the same kind of color scheme. So I'm going to use those same flowers in each one of my boxes. But on the bottom, I'm not going to be doing the eucalyptus. I'm just going to be doing the flowers. That combined with reindeer moss, I think will be enough to fill that up, especially with the leaves on there. So again, I just cut these down, making sure to leave the leaves on and spread these throughout the boxes. And this turned out so pretty. It's pretty lightweight since I'm using the foam and the faux florals like this. I'm going to use mine, I think, inside my home for decor, but I think you could probably get away with this out on a porch as well, as long as it's like not going to get like a lot of wind or anything like that. You wouldn't want your stand to break. But this is how it turned out. My little ladder plant stand. I absolutely love it. I think it looks so beautiful for spring. Aren't those flowers and the greenery so pretty? And combined with that awesome ladder plant stand, I really love this design and I'm so glad that I came up with it. I think it would be really versatile too, because you could switch out the greenery in it really easily for different seasons.